The Marcus Deegan Show. What's the story, guys? Welcome to another episode of the podcast. Marcus, your host. Great to have you here. Where am I shooting from? You hear the accent, you see the flag, you're like, that guy has got to be down under. No, I'm in Sydney, the place of world title fights and bright lights. Welcome to the podcast. We've got another warrior on the show today. The episode is sponsored by Tidal Sport Recovery Plant-Powered Spray. Now, check this out, guys. You've heard me talk about this on every single episode. I'm an advocate for helping people with pain. If you've got pain anywhere and you want instant pain relief, whether it's your back, your elbows, your knees, your ankles, whatever it is, mate, this is the stuff that you got to get. Tidalsport.com. However, here in the US, it's available at CVS Pharmacy. So go down to your local one and grab yourself one. Tell them Marcus sent you. Featherweight champion on the program today. Welcome to the podcast, Jordan, the epidemic Vucenic. What's the story, brother?
Yeah, all good, all good. Still on top of the world from the fight last Friday. So, yeah, that's just me, just on a high.
Now, how long does something like that take to disperse? Like, I'm sure that it's such a buzz, especially in the fashion that you got it. You beat him by a standing rear naked. He's a wrestler. How long does that take for that to come down?
I mean, it's not so much even the finish or anything that's put me on such the high. I had such a hard training camp. I put so much into it, and it was almost like an 8 weeks of hell. I mean, the camp was longer than 8 weeks, but the last 8 weeks was a huge push. So yeah, I remember kept saying in the camp, you know, it's going to be amazing after the fight, and I'm milking it now.
So do you go back and watch the fight when you're at home like that? You're in London now, right? Are you in London?
I'm in Northamptonshire, so it's about 2 hours away from London, so not too far. But yeah, I've watched the fight probably about 1 million times, I'm telling you.
Yeah. I bet that's a great feeling to come home, sit on the couch, crack a cold one, put it in on the big screen, and just kind of learn what you wanted to do but didn't do, and then you can critique yourself. I'm sure it's an amazing feeling.
Yeah, I mean, I come home straight from the venue, and I got back to my house for about 5:30 in the morning, and I just didn't go to sleep. I just stayed awake for the next day, and that's just what I did. I just got back, opened up a couple of chocolate bars, and watched the fight about 100 times.
How much would you say that mindset comes into what you do?
I think it's the biggest part. I mean, I've seen so many guys in the changing rooms before fights almost become a character before they have fights, and they switch to this tough guy, or you can see they're nervous. And I'm always just the same guy, whether it's 2 weeks before the fight or 2 minutes before the fight. I just try to stay the same person, because those characters are gonna fail on you in tough times. So I just be myself, and then just go in there. And I love to do it, so I just get in there and enjoy myself.
So, I mean, you've been in the game for a while now. You've got a great record. I asked you about visualization, and you said it's the main thing. And I'm sure you get asked this on every single interview that you do. Obviously, the UFC is the next step. Yeah. Obviously, that's just right there. It's just when it's going to happen. It's just a matter of time, right? You've seen this in your head. You've pictured it. You know, after what you did last week, and I believe you're seven wins in a row now, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So how long do you think that process is going to be, or has it come quicker than you expected?
No, I when I first started the sport, I started at 17, just turning 18, and I always give myself the time frame of 26 years old. I'd be in the UFC, and I just turned 26 just before the fight. So everything I've said's come to fruition. And yeah, just believe I'm ready now, and I'm ready to make a good run at it over the next few years. And even the little things, you know, now I'm really envisioning strapping on those UFC gloves and pulling up with those UFC shorts. So yeah, it's big. It's big.
Now, do you internally feel that when you're thinking it? You feel it inside, right? You can actually sometimes get goosebumps, or you get the chills or butterflies. You feel that, right?
Yeah, I can feel it all. I can even smell the leather of the UFC gloves. I can feel the tightness when I put them on in my hands, and I'm ready for it all. And I've been there 100 times over
You're actually giving me goosebumps right now because, like, I try to tell everybody that listens to this podcast about mindset and how great it is and how much it works. But did you see what he just said then, guys? He said that he could actually feel it. He could smell the leather. He could feel. He could feel it. You don't just think it. You have to actually really truly believe it. And when you know you believe it is when you can actually have a physical freaking feeling from thinking of something. So that's awesome, man. So it's just a matter of time now. Now, here's something else just to flip it up a bit. Have you had that baby yet?
I haven't yet. No, we're waiting on the baby, and he's measuring big on the scale. So my fiance might be put into early labor. So yeah, he's a big old Vachenic boy coming out.
Now, where's that last name come from?
So my dad was Yugoslavian. I think it sort of originates more from Serbia. I have a lot of Serbian people message me and say that Vacenic's Serbian. But yeah, my father was Yugoslavian. So a lot of people say that's why I'm so good at fighting, is that Yugoslavian blood.
Yeah, well, I know those Serbians are tough bastards as well. All those people from that end of the block, they're all there. That's awesome, man. So look, the UFC, it's on the way, and there's been a bunch of former Cage Warriors that are now in the UFC, primarily that fought in your division. Obviously, Paddy Pimblett, who's just come through. Connor was also there, and he was the champion as well. What do you think? What do you think of Paddy's performance in his first two fights here in the UFC?
Amazing. He's got the job done in both of them. I mean, I'd hope to replicate what he's done without getting the big shots that he's eating.
Yeah. Well, listen, it's he's made a huge impact, and it seems that everyone from that promotion that comes into the UFC makes a huge impact. How do you think you'd stand up to the featherweight division here in the UFC? Do you think you're on par, or do you think you're up to that level right now?
Oh, 100%. I honestly believe that I'll jump in with the top 10, top 5 guys and beat them. And I genuinely believe that. I know people watching will be thinking, oh, this guy's an idiot, thinking he's going to jump in. But I genuinely do believe I'm going to jump in with the Max Holloways and the Volkanovskis. And I think that I can beat these guys now. And it's just going to take me the matter of however many fights it takes me to get there to show everybody what I believe from the start.
Now, has there been any discussion with the UFC at all? Have you spoke to Uncle Dana, or has there been any back and forth at all that you
No,
can?
nothing as of yet. I'm just I've never not got my phone in my hand and just hoping that call comes through. And it could be anything could phone, and I'll say yeah as soon as I answer the phone, and it could be something completely different. I'm like, oh no, that's not what I meant. I'm just ready.
Now, do you like America?
Do I like what? Sorry.
Do you like America, the USA?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've always seen myself fighting in the big arenas and the big venues over there. So it's always been a question of when with me. When am I going to be fighting on them shows? Not if, because I always knew I was going to. And it's just when, and that's still the question. When am I going to be on them shows? And I'm hoping it's sooner rather than later. I'm ready to go now.
100%. The T-Mobile is literally 13 minutes down the road from where I am right now. So I guarantee that you'll definitely be performing in that arena one of these days, mate. I just know you will. I'll tell you what, give us, from this sport, who is your inspirations, or who do you kind of look up to in the sport?
Of course, you've always got the McGregors and stuff like that, because he sort of opened the gates for all of the European guys. But the first ever guy I found doing MMA randomly was Junior Dos Santos. So that was the very first guy that I knew that did UFC. I mean, he's a heavyweight, so I don't really follow him and watch him. But that was the guy that sort of got me into it. But I like the Peter Yans and these guys coming up. Of course, Max Holloways and stuff like that. But I think at the minute, I'm a fan of the sort of Peter Yans and those sort of guys.
What did you think about the whole Masvidal and Colby Covington situation? Has that made it to the headlines over there in England?
Yeah. Well, I've just seen a report there that Colby's claiming that Masvidal broke his Rolex watch and he's suing him for 15,000 in damages. I've just seen that, so I don't know. It's just all a bit of a weird one, but I seen an interview as well where Masvidal said that he's known on the streets for being a I could punch her on a 50-yard dash. So.
Oh, it's a crazy sport and we love it. And well, man, listen, I just wanted to make this a real quick one because I was watching a few of your fights earlier on today, so I was really glad that I got the opportunity to talk to you. When I got the your PR guy Ed Cap, he said to me, "Oh, you're gonna like him," and I was like, "All right, I'm looking forward to talking to them." I've talked to Connor, I've talked to Paddy, I've talked to you. Everyone's good from that end of the pond. And anything else before we bounce, bro?
No, just like I always say, you're going to be seeing my face a lot more soon when I'm in the UFC, making big statements, and big waves are going to be coming. I'm telling you now.
Yes. Can't wait, my brother.
Yeah.
Guys, thank you very much for coming on the show, Jordan Vidicenik. Thank you, bro.
Thank you, mate. Thank you very much.
Cheers, bud. Cheers, bud. There you go. I just love chatting to all these people. I say it at the end of every podcast. I love chatting with all these people because I do. I had to take my glasses off through that podcast. I was getting a bit of lens flare. Tidal Sport Recovery Spray. Now, the good thing about this is that you hear that the nozzle can turn, so you can kind of get anywhere by yourself on your own body. Initially, when you get hit with this spray, you're going to jump 10 feet because it's freezing cold. I always say a blast of cold like you've never felt before. Spray it on, give it a few minutes, let me know how it goes. If you've already tried this, drop me a little note on my Instagram and give me a testimony, and I'll plug it and I'll talk about it. Tidal Sport, it's available at CVS. What a buzz seeing it at the CVS. So thank you very much, Dr. Cohen. Thank you very much, Connor, and everybody else that's involved with this product. That gives me the opportunity to be able to talk about it, plug it, have it on the show as I'm wearing the t-shirt. Rest in peace, Taylor Hawkins, man. Jeez, what a blow. What a blow to not only his, of course, his family and his friends, but to the music industry. So rest in peace. Getting hot. We're continuing on. Snuffy, do you want to come and say hello to everybody before we go? Snuff? You made an appearance last week, my friend. You want to come up here? Snuffy, come up here and say hello to everybody up on the podcast. Come up here. You going to say hello to everyone? Look. Say g'day. Hey, thanks very much for listening. Thanks very much for watching. Hope you had a great one. This is Marcus Deegan, shooting from Vegas. Bloody hot day. Take care. The Marcus Deegan Show.